Australia in the inaugural match defeated Zimbabwe easily by 125 runs. Sri Lanka then defeated India by 9 wickets, a huge win for Sri Lanka thanks to a wonderful 120 by the world record holder Jayasuriya right at the top. Sri Lanka still against Sri Lanka the next time round, but Sri Lanka won comfortably by 6 wickets. Again, Arvind De Silva quite easily doing the job there for Sri Lanka. Finally, yesterday, after the match was postponed by a day, clean record here in the Singer World Series. 3 wins out of 3 matches, 6 points. Australia through with 2 wins from their 3 matches, the last one coming against India, who stay at 2
matches, but then that will dry out once the game starts. It's nice and firm with very little moisture. So that means the fast bowlers really will not get much of help early on, at least by way of movement of the seam. In normal course, the team that would win the toss here would look to bat first. But remember, this is going to be a reduced overs game, and there is every possibility of rain coming later in the day. And because of that, I think the 2 teams might just review the situation.
We can have a bowl after.
Ian, you prefer to chase in the shorter game, you think?
I think so. You can space yourself a little bit better. The wicket's a little bit better, so hopefully it'll work out for us.
Yeah. And also maybe a little bit of assistance for the bowlers early?
I don't think so by the look of the little pitch, but there are a couple of little wet spots we might land on, but no, I don't think the pitch will come into play too much.
And you've gone for the extra batsman in the team, Brad Hogg out and Lehman in?
That's right. The shorter the game got, the easier that decision became, so yes, Lehman in.
All right, look forward to a good final then.
Thanks, Ian.
Arjuna, you're quite happy about batting first?
No problem. I think the wicket is dry, and if we can put up a good score, we have a lot of batting. We are playing extra spinner too, so it will be a big advantage bowling in the second place.
Not worried about the outfield being damp and the ball getting wet for the spinner?
Not really. Luckily that we are batting first in that way, but when we were fielding, we were a little worried whether the ball will get wet, but that's how the game goes. One has to win toss, the other one has to lose.
Sure.
So we'll have a good game.
You think this will deteriorate much during the day?
Slightly. It might take a lot of spin, most probably after a couple of hours, especially with the foot marks on, and hope that our spinners can capitalize on that.
All right.
Bradley Hogg. That obviously helped that decision, the fact that the match is shortened. Ian Healy, Paul Rifle, Damien Fleming and Glenn McGrath. The Sri Lankan side, well, that's the side that has really done them so proud. Jayasuriya Kaluwitharana, Guru Singh is out there, De Silva Ranatunga, Ashan Tilakaratna, Roshan Mahanama, Dharamasena, Vas, Sandana and Muralidharan. First ball is about to be bowled out in the centre at the moment. That magnificent pair, the opening partnership that has excited cricketers and cricket lovers the world over. Sanat Jayasuriya is going to be on strike. Glenn McGrath this time is going to be the bowler. Down the non-strikers end, little Kaluwitharana. Can they get the Sri Lankans off to a great start? The crowd in this ground will be hoping so. The chant has begun in the commentary box. It's Ian Chappell, and with him is Sunil Gavaskar.
Thanks very much, Tony, and hello to our viewers. Well, terrific atmosphere building up here at Premadasa. People were in early. The music started early.
About the thin neck.
Ricky Ponting at deep backward square. A little bit of hesitation there with the running. We saw Jayasuriya run himself out in the World Cup final. And Steve Bucknor really getting quite excited about Jayasuriya running on the pitch.
Yes, Jayasuriya also had the bat in the wrong hand, and that's why that hesitation. He had the bat in the right hand when in fact he should have had it on the left hand, because that way he would have been facing the fielder all the time. There was a fraction of a second when he had his back to the fielder, and that's why that little hesitancy.
He loves them when they're up. And he times them pretty well.
Well, he really laid into that one, didn't he? Nice, juicy half volley. And look at that shot, really cracked it. And though the outfield's a bit soggy, it's still traveling at a fair speed.
getting Jayasuriya out for 5. And once again, just over point and away to the boundary.
He is so quick, Sanat Jayasuriya. His initial movement is to come onto the front foot, but if the ball is slightly short, he quickly rocks back, transfers his weight onto the back foot, and with a slightly open face, he's hit it over the fielder's head at backward point. Now that's 2 boundaries in this over for Sanat Jayasuriya.
Sri Lanka getting the gear moved. Now it's Kaluwitharana who decides to get in on the act. Yes, the television crew had to move all the gear from SSC to Premadasa, worked all through the night, and it's thanks to them that you're receiving these pictures.
But Kaluwitharana has decided that he's not really going to wait to get his eye in as well. His partner Jayasuriya can do it, so can he.
Interesting point you made earlier, Sonny, about the way that Jayasuriya picks up the length so quickly. Well, that's a good shot. And that's going to have enough run on it to reach the rope.
On first sight, it looked as if it was a slog, but it wasn't, because look at the way he's transferred his weight again. It's short, and the wicket is such a good wicket that he's waited for it to come onto the bat and then hit it over mid-wicket for a boundary. Not a slog at all. A very good cricket shot. Very good one-day shot.
Well, it's quite commonplace these days to see a strike rate of 100 from these two. Once again, the ball landing just short of third man. Darren Lehmann there, I think, made the right choice. That ball didn't get up very high in the air at all.
Well, in the semi-finals of the Wills World Cup, both Kaluwitharana and Jayasuriya were out in the first over. Both got at third man of Javagal Srinath. The ball in that innings going much higher than it has gone to Lehmann and McGrath.
Oh, that's a magnificent shot. Just slanting short of the rope.
It was just the perfect length for Jayasuriya to play the lofted shot. Played it on the up and with a very, very straight bat, middled it. And it was just one bounce and over the ropes. Not much a bowler can do when the batsman is hitting the ball so well, overconfident.
It's well timed. The crowd are going berserk.
And why not? They're getting plenty of thrills, plenty of excitement there, because Sanat Jayasuriya is on fire once again. And this is a tremendous shot. Look at the way he's moved to the pitch of the ball, and the bat following through and then finding that gap. So important. There's no point hitting the ball hard and straight to the fielder. Paul Rifle making great effort there, but it was simply not good enough.
Oh, lovely timing. Magnificent timing. This is just very good batting. Difficult to stop. It's 34 for naught.
Right combination.
Oh, what a good catch. No, in fact, it's got away. Jayasuriya thumping his glove there. I think he was disappointed with his placement. I thought Steve Waugh for a moment had pulled off another blinder. He's actually hurt his fingers.
Steve Waugh took 2 magnificent catches in the game against India. He might have just slipped a little bit as he moved to that. Didn't quite get it in the middle of the palm. But what an effort.
Placement there from Jayasuriya. Good delivery from Glenn McGrath. He was looking for the Yorker. That's the trouble with these guys. You just missed the perfect length by centimetres, and they put it away.
Yes, it's bad enough for the bowlers to find that good balls are being dispatched for boundaries, but when an attempted Yorker is slightly overpitched, it goes for runs too. Sri Lanka are very excited. Lots of music around because the Sri Lankan openers are making the Australians dance to their tune.
There's a chance. Stuart Law, and well taken. So Jayasuriya just getting a bit carried away there, and Glenn McGrath has got a very good breakthrough for Australia.
Well, this is a very well judged catch too by Stuart Law. Jayasuriya's bat face does tend to open up a little bit, and there you see it's opened up again. That's why he wasn't quite able to middle it or hit it in the direction he intended. He was trying to hit it over mid-on. Instead, the ball looped up in the air, and Stuart Law, running from short mid-wicket towards a square leg, has completed a very well judged catch. Sanath Jayasuriya is out for 27, and Sri Lanka are 42 for 1.
It's good delivery from Damien Fleming. Ball just swinging away a little in the air.
Kalawithan had just taken a half step forward to try and whack it on the up. This was more a Yorker length. Just squeezed on top of the ball. Stifled appeal from both Fleming and the wicketkeeper Ian Healy.
There's no one at fine leg.
There really is no letting up for the Australians. Kalawithan are flicking that ball away from his pads. There is a fielder at deep mid-wicket. So he was looking to loft it, but even though he didn't get it in the middle, it's still 4 runs.
Brings into play.
Right, so rifle to Kalu. Oh, he's whacked it. It's gone over the top of the infield on the offside. It's bouncing down towards the fence. It was high, and therefore it won't go to the outfield, to the boundary anyhow, because that outfield's still quite damp out there. But, boy, he's going for it. If it's up there, he's going to hit it.
That's right. This time it was pitched up, and he was going to have a go over the offside field, over cover, in fact. The bat really turning in his hand, and in the end, the ball going square of the wicket on the offside. That's the only way he plays, always in 4th gear. Or should it be overdrive?
Oh, again, he's nudged that one back again. A quick single. The throw comes down Kalu's end. They try to surprise him. He was looking over his shoulder, the little fella. Another single to the total, 61 for 1. 7.4 overs have been bowled. I tell you what, Ravi, this sort of cricket really excites me.
Well, it'll excite anybody, Tony. And this full house here, having a real treat.
to go in the over. They're dancing in the aisles here at Premadasa. Oh, he's hooked that one. There's a fieldsman down there. That's well placed, the fieldsman. They've had him down, should have had him down from the word go, but they now realise that on this wicket, anything that's slightly short is going to be pulled away down to square leg. He's done it quite often. But watch how he rolls over the top of this one. Make sure he doesn't hit it all the way down to the fieldsman. Good shot, though.
Well, that man at deep mid-wicket has saved at least 3 boundaries already. That's one of his favourite areas to hit, Kalu Vitarna.
Australians who are so good in the field pick up those half chances, and that does make a huge difference. Down the wicket he goes. What a great shot that is. That is a little dynamo shot. He has smashed that straight down the ground. Lehman, all he could do, stand there and gape at it go.
But itching to get down the track, Kalu Vitarna. He does so on this occasion. Good footwork to the pitch of the ball and bang, straight back past the bowler. Yet another boundary. Sri Lanka into the 70s.
Run rate, 8.2 it is. What a shot that was. Smashed it down the ground. He's still got the strike. What's he going to do with this one? 1 ball to go. Will he block it? Will he play for 1? Down the wicket again. He's whacked it. That's going for 4 as well. Kalu Vitarna is having a ball at Premadasa Stadium. The crowd are out of their seats. What a little player he is. 74 for 1.
With Guru Singh, as far as Kalu Vitarna is concerned.
Oh, he's whacked that one. That's going for 4 as well. Over the top of the extra cover fieldsman into the fence. How are they going to stop him? That one was short. This is getting to the Australians. They look like the champions, that's for sure.
Well, again, some width there, and Kalu Vitarna not one to miss out on that. Smashing it over point for yet another boundary. Another over where already 8 runs have been scored.
Short, pulled away down to a long on. This will probably go for 4 too, despite the slow outfield. Will it get there? Not quite. It's cut off by the man at deep square leg. Ricky Ponting, the fieldsman there. Just 1 ball to go in this over now. Again, that was a short delivery. You bowl short to this fella, and he's going to get you away.
That's the problem the bowlers have. When it's short, he plays shots like that. When it's pitched up, quite prepared to go over the top.
Mind you pitch it up and he'll get you away as well. That's the problem. He's playing superbly, and we've already seen a lovely cameo innings from Jayasuriya. That's a better delivery. No ball called again. Well, they're having a few problems, or certainly Paul Rifle's having a few problems with that front line.
Little wicket keeper.
Listen to the roar here if he gets 1. Well fielded. Back for 3, and what a little cameo innings it's been. Kalu Vitarna has played beautifully. He really has taken advantage of the fieldsman in the circle to perfection, and what's more, he's only done it for 33 balls. It happened to him when he played that pull shot and got out a couple of matches back. Oh, good shot from Guru Singh. He's starting to loosen up now. And I tell you what, he's a big man. When he goes, he can go. That was a lovely shot.
Well, this is exactly what he tried of the first delivery of the over. This time he got it right in the middle of the bat and over the man at mid-off. Terrific blow there from Guru Singh. And now a dilemma for the bowler and the Australians. Both batsmen on the rampage.
Well, perhaps this man's had enough of being down the other end and watching everyone fly it. He wants to get into the action himself. He's strong enough. Push mid-off back for him now.
This time he's just got a bit of something on it, either bat or pad. And in fact, it was a bit of pad.
So Sri Lanka has got their 100 in staggering quick time in the 13th over. Kalavitana getting a little bit of bat and pad as well.
Yes, in fact, I think Steve Bucknell has just changed his signal. He's been told by somebody, either that or he's realised he's made a mistake and he's given it now hits. That's a good over from Lehmann. It's 101 for 1. Taken the opportunity, so that's good bowling from Darren Lehmann. His persistence has paid off.
Good bowling by Lehmann, that time holding it up back. Kalavitana, seeing Kalavitana coming down the pitch, held it back a bit. Kalavitana going through with the shot and not really making good contact. Good catch by Lehmann.
It's 104 for 2. That's broken the sequence of overs without a boundary.
De Silva breaking the shackles and hitting McGrath over the mid-on, standing close in. It's nicely timed, right in the middle of the bat. A lot of meat behind it. And the ball running down to the boundary on this rather heavy outfield.
Talking earlier about the battle for supremacy. Player of the series, Aravinda De Silva, one man who will be in contention. He would have the opportunity to pick either the Kia Cephia, the saloon, that won the Innes class in the Australian Rally last year, or the Sportage, the four-wheel drive vehicle. And Bevan at mid-off takes the catch, so McGrath has struck again.
That's a big break for Australia. Gurusingha departs. McGrath once again mixing his deliveries, slowing down the pace, and Gurusingha holding on to mid-off. Head pulled back and straight to Bevan.
Bevan taking that catch from McGrath.
21 overs have been bowled in this 35-over contest. A very important part of this game. Sri Lanka having got off to a good start. Well, that's well fielded. Really has magnificent hands, Mark Waugh. Diving away to his right to stop. That one would have ended up going for 2 at least.
The Australians have been fielding exceedingly well. Mark Waugh diving to his right. Mark Waugh in particular has got lovely hands.
Oh, he's hit that one like a rocket. That's gone for 4. Just wide of Waugh that time. He went diving away to try and take a catch. Would have been a miraculous effort, but it was beautifully struck by Ranatunga. This is very good timing.
Ranatunga, like Jayasuriya, has an open face of the bat. His bat face opens when he plays the drive or the cut. And that's why it's that much more difficult to predict where the ball is going to go. This one's been hit off the middle. A bit of width, and he's latched onto it.
So he loves nudging it away. Ranatunga's flying down the pitch. That's about as quick as I've ever seen him run. He was sprinting down the wicket, looking for the second run. It wasn't to be because McGrath has got a very good arm.
But even now the Sri Lankans are getting just a little impatient. They know that they have about 11 overs more.
Oh, and that's just got past him. He looked for a second as if he was going to cut it off. The throw's wild as well. Stephen Ward just looking over his shoulder, not very happy there with Glenn McGrath. He's done pretty well, only 15 balls for 13. He'll start in a moment to think about hitting a few fours. Get that sweep shot going. Short delivery again. Stephen Ward dishing it out to him, but again, watchfully played. They've got 2 men back at square leg, just in case he hits it in the air.
It's coming at a gentle pace, and all that Ranatunga is doing is really just guiding the ball, helping the ball along. Quite content to take a single.
And no ball called, so he's going to have to re-bowl that one. Now, will he slip in another bouncer to Ranatunga? Ward's having a little game with him out there at the moment, and the ball once again thrown along the ground. Stephen Ward's not happy, and nor should he be, with the ball thrown back to the bowler in these conditions. The last thing on earth you want is to have to walk over and pick it up. That's well bowled. It's also the end of the over. 158 for 3 for our scorer.
Just 5 overs remaining. You might just see a few fireworks as Mark Waugh continues to the Sri Lankan captain. Swept away on the onside, straight to the man at square leg.
Ranatunga, a fine exponent of the sweep shot, plays it so well, has it covered all the time, and has the ability to hit it square or fine. He's a player who can all the time keep the board moving, picking up singles at will.
Down the track comes De Silva, and that's a miss stumping by Ian Healy. Making no contact.
Healy's concentration destroying that time. De Silva coming down to that flighted delivery. Beaten, but Healy not collecting it clean. So a bad miss for Australia.
Down the track comes Ranatunga this time and drives on the offside. Will get a single. Yes, that's stumping, a relatively simple chance by Ian Healy standards.
Ranatunga once again using his feet delightfully, coming to the pitch weight and stroking it into the gap.
Down the track he comes again. It's only a single as he plays square of the wicket on the offside. So Arvinder De Silva's intention's pretty clear. Full toss this time and driven on the offside. Could beat the man there at deep point. Yes, it does. So welcome boundary this for Sri Lanka. After 31 overs, Sri Lanka 190 for 3.
He's really dominated in virtually every innings.
Giving himself room, unable to make contact. Good over that for Australia. 194 for 3 Sri Lanka. Continues, and down the track comes De Silva and hits it into the deep. And that's brilliantly taken at mid-wicket. Or was it? In fact, it's over Slater's head, and it's 6 runs.
De Silva coming down the pitch, picking it on the half volley, and Slater unable to cling on to that. In fact, tipping it over the line for 6, and that brings about De Silva's 50. But a fine innings that De Silva. Slater getting under it. Just not enough height, and the ball tipping over.
And another 50 for Arvinder De Silva, and what a way to bring it up. He'll get only a single this time. He plays it away on the onside. Sri Lanka's most consistent run getter in this tournament.
De Silva now with his fine performance certainly has elevated himself to being probably the best batsman in the world, particularly in the one-day game. He's played so brilliantly at the World Cup, in the Sega series in Singapore, and now here in Sri Lanka.
Ranatunga this time down the track, hitting it over extra cover. He's timed it beautifully. 6 more runs for Sri Lanka. That really was a lovely shot. Beautiful footwork.
What glorious batsmanship here. Mark Waugh flighting it, Ranatunga giving himself room and stroking it right over the extra cover boundary. There you are, Ranatunga, just a short side step, and hammering it away. Absolutely brilliant batsmanship.
So the Sri Lankans now again on the rampage. Very clever cricket by the Sri Lankan captain, playing it fine. It will get only a single.
This is indeed very, very high-class professional batsmanship. Both players, whenever the ball's being meant to be hit, punishing it away and just putting the good deliveries away for singles.
Played away on the onside, another single for De Silva. Shown so much of maturity in this tournament. In fact, even right through the World Cup, he was guilty in the past of throwing his hand in a little too early, especially in the one-day game after getting a quick 30 or 40. But not so in the last 6 months. Again, Ranatunga down the track, giving himself room, but straight to the man at cover. So 33 overs gone, Sri Lanka 209 for 3. Hit high in the air this time by Ranatunga. Straight to the man at long off. Arvinder De Silva pushing for the second and getting it comfortably. Good running between the wickets there. Run the first run, run hard, and then put pressure on the fielder.
Ranatunga once again timing it nicely, chipping it over the infield, showing a lot of maturity in this innings. Sri Lankans have come into this game with a game plan and executing it to perfection.
Giving himself room this time, unable to make contact, looking to hit the ball over the offside field.
That's the off-cutter. Ranatunga trying to give himself room, probably drew himself a little too much away and unfortunately unable to make contact.
And probably moving a little too quickly, giving Fleming the chance to see that. This time he stays where he is, but he's well bowled by Fleming, right up in the block hole. So this is a good comeback by him.
Ranatunga continuing to amble away, conserving energy. He knows that there is an important 35 overs to be bowled. He has to be there at the helm, as Sri Lanka has been looking to him most of the time.
So where will De Silva go this time? Down the track, and he's hit it in between mid-on and mid-wicket. This might go all the way to the fence. Just stopped inside there. But enough time for the batsman to come back for 3 or rifle the fielder. They've reached a very good score of 216 for 3. Arvinder De Silva still there on 60, and he's going to be the batsman on strike. Sri Lankans going at over 6 runs per over, 6.35 to be exact.
The last over to come, and De Silva on strike. De Silva showing to the cricketing world what an arrogant player he could be when set, and now playing with such a great degree of maturity.
And this time he goes over the top and over the fielder at long on. Again, beautifully timed by De Silva.
Once again, De Silva coming down the pitch, picking that one beautifully and hitting it on onto that long boundary at long on. What absolute perfect timing. That's De Silva coming down the pitch. A lot of arrogance in the way he handles that. Beating long on, way above his head.
And this is interesting. De Silva having a chat with Cyril Mitchley, obviously telling the umpire that before that ball was bowled, there were just 3 men in the circle. So that's clever cricket. He gave him the charge, anticipating a no ball. And again, and this time it's even a bigger hit. Again over the man at long on, and the little man is on fire. Second consecutive 6 by De Silva.
De Silva is on absolute fire here. He's coming down the pitch, and rifle's been dispatched once again. What a glorious shot, that one.
It's not an easy shot to play. Not always easy to hit a low full toss over the straight field, but De Silva has done just that. And the crowd enjoying every bit of it. And the 3rd time in a row, but this time straight up in the air. Healy has to give chase. But ball eluding him, and De Silva having time to come back for the second run.
Real mayhem here. Australia in a state of panic with De Silva on fire. This man, so small in stature, what power he's got on his shots. Just belting the ball all over.
Well, just the kind of last over Sri Lankans would have wanted. 3 balls gone, 14 runs come of it. And this so far has been an almost perfect performance by the Sri Lankans.
Crowd chanting away. De Silva giving them absolute sparkling display of batting here. What brilliant batsmanship.
So rifle again to De Silva. What will he do this time? And that's well bowled, right up in the block hole. Silva getting a single there, and that brings the Sri Lankan captain on strike. With just 2 balls remaining.
Sri Lanka needed this pair to be there till the end, and how well they've done. They used their great experience and belted the Australians around.
And played over the onside by Ranatunga this time in the gap between long on and deep mid-wicket. He'll get a couple of runs here. Now we come to the final ball of the innings.
This has been a very expensive over for Australia, and the last ball in progress.
And driven on the offside this time, but there is a man out there in the deep. And only a single to Ranatunga. So after 35 overs, Sri Lanka 234 for 3. Another fantastic performance by the Sri Lankans, who were given that explosive start by Jayasuriya and Kaluwitharna. The crowd really have enjoyed every bit of the Sri Lankan performance. Another big score and a tough task for the Australians now, chasing this target. There'll be a lot of pressure on them from this big crowd who have come out in their numbers to support the home team. Consistency all the way down that batting order. Jayasuriya starting off with 27 of only 20 balls. Kaluwitharna playing a little gem, 58 of 46 deliveries. Guru Singha, 29 of 46, and Arvinda De Silva, yet again the pillar of this Sri Lankan batting, 75 of only 64 deliveries. Ranatunga doing a good job, scoring at almost a run a ball. So 234 for 3 of 35 overs.
Sri Lankans indeed have batted like champions. After a wonderful start by Jayasuriya and Kaluwitharna, they finished off with this great batting performance. That's the Australian bowling. Not a very healthy situation. There was McGrath, who's really come out best with his figures of 2 for 35. None of the others have impressed with this scintillating display of batting by the Sri Lankans.
So with the Sri Lankans scoring a big score, 234 in just 35 overs. We'll be back in about 7 minutes time after the break.
Wicket steadying things up, and what a wonderful finish we saw from Aravinda De Silva and Ranatunga. Ranatunga playing a captain's innings, giving the more dominant partner De Silva all the strike and picking up singles at will. De Silva, what great form he is in. In fact, he came into the cricket scene as a very, very fine player. But unfortunately, I think the lack of exposure he's had over the years, due to the fact that Sri Lanka hadn't too much international cricket, pushed him back a bit, I think. But he's now really come on so well. He's playing with so much maturity, and he is now settling down to play the long innings, which he's well capable of. Not at impossible, and playing with a lot of composure and professionalism.
Well, composure is something that the Australians need to regain very quickly here. It's difficult when you've been run ragged, as they were, but I must say that Mark Waugh and Michael Slater strode to the crease. They're certainly showing plenty of confidence. The real question is going to be whether they can do the same sort of thing to Sri Lanka. and get them ragged in the field. I think that's the only hope they've got of winning this match, if they can somehow or other panic the Sri Lankans into some bad bowling and some ordinary fielding. Now, we haven't seen that from Sri Lanka for a while. Australia are going to have to come up with something special if they're going to win this match, and it will have been a comeback to match that of Lazarus if the Australians can win it from here. But the one thing you do know about the Australians, they'll go down fighting. Charminder Vas, who bowls so well to Mark Waugh, starts from the commentary box end.
A required run rate of 6+ is always stiff, but one cannot discount players of the caliber of Mark Waugh, who are of world class and have the ability to take on any attack. The Australians have always had the reputation of being a side that has always taken the fight to the opposition, and here is one opportunity they've got.
That's well run. So the Australians starting out the way they have to. The thing about this, just to put it in context, why it is such a stiff target, the required rate is 6.71. That means they're only going to get there by batting with a fair amount of risk. The only way the risk won't be there is if Sri Lanka bowl badly and field badly. That's a lovely shot from Mark Waugh. Muralidharan, the chaser. That's good work.
That's beautifully timed in the usual characteristic Mark Waugh fashion. Not much fuss, getting his foot to the ball, head leading into it, and stroke beautifully into the gap. The Australians surely must realize that on the slow Sri Lankan pitches, the hard ball certainly would provide them the runs, and the Australians are looking for them now.
This pitch seems to be playing very, very well. I guess the real test for Australia will come when they bring on the spinners. That's where Sri Lanka seem to have been able to dominate the Australian batsmen. When they get the spinners and the part-time spinners working away, when the ball's older and there's not quite so much bounce, that's when they've had their problems.
Sri Lankans going into this game with just one medium-pace bowler or medium-fast bowler, which is Charminder Vas. He's got a great number of attributes. He's able to move the ball away from the right-hander, and has also the ability to bring in ball to the right-hander with his natural in-swing.
Australia 6-0. Traveling pretty quick.
That's a bad miss for Guru Singh. Slater hitting it into his stomach, hitting it quite hard. Guru Singh taken unexpectedly.
Right in the breadbasket, that one. Certainly knocked the wind out of Guru Singha. That's a great shot. And Slater doing exactly what he's got to do here and go after the medium pacer.
Slater certainly having got the green light to go after Guru Singha. Slater coming down, hitting it on the meat of the bat, right in the center.
That'll be a wide.
Not a very auspicious start for Guru Singha. Straying down the leg side. He's had a chance missed by himself. Beaten for 4 and now down on the leg side.
So on this sort of pitch, I think that Mark Waugh will be more disappointed about the fact that he's not made contact.
From Sri Lanka's point of view, it is important that they settle down and settle down quickly, as too many runs at the beginning would certainly bring Australia into some sense of proportion.
That's well fielded by Aravinda De Silva. 16 for naught.
He will have to be spot on.
And a change of pace there from Charminder Vas. And he's picked up the wicket of Michael Slater. And the key to your statement, Ranjit, was they've got to take wickets at regular intervals. Well, they've made a good start.
So the Sri Lankans have struck. There was Charminder Vas seeing Slater coming down the wicket. There you are, Slater coming down the wicket, and Vas angling it slightly away from him. Slater going after it. Chandana picking up a very easy catch.
It's 17 for 1. Over from Charminder Vas. It's just gone up slightly. That's what the teams are playing for in this Singer World Series competition. At the moment, the trophy is very much in the Sri Lankan camp.
Sri Lankans showing a great deal of enthusiasm on the field. Fielders everywhere backing up each other. That's the type of enthusiasm that spreads when a side is successful. Been entrusted with the task of standing in for the opening bowler with the new ball.
Lovely shot from Ricky Ponting. Plays quick bowling extremely well. In fact, I think it wouldn't hurt for Arjuna to get a spinner on to Ricky Ponting early on in his innings. He is a little vulnerable, as we saw against Joshi.
Forcing a gentle half volley right in the slot, giving Ponting all the opportunity to hit it right into the gap.
The first thing is that no one can take the tag off, the World Cup tag. It will be there for 3 years, whether we lose or win. But I think it has put little pressure on the players. What we want to do is, we don't want to put any pressure on any of my players. We want them to do what they have been doing, enjoy their cricket, go out there and give their best.
Chance, and he's hit the middle stump. Steve Bucknor has asked for the replay. I think Mark Waugh knows he's gone. The head goes down. Mahanama has produced a direct hit.
That really epitomizes the brilliance of the Sri Lankan fielding. They've hit the stumps so often. That's Mahanama, one of the better ones. And that's curtains for Mark Waugh. He's out by a foot.
Well, that's a big blow for Sri Lanka. Australia 26 for 2. Out onto the ground very quickly. He certainly likes to stoush Steve Waugh, but that's a big blow, losing his brother.
An enormous task now lies ahead of Steve Waugh and Ponting. They'll have to repair this innings. That was a dismissal of Mark Waugh, and that's why Steve Waugh's here. Mahanama, what a quick pick-up and throw, all in one action.
You're never going to tell from Steve Waugh's body language that the Australians are down. He's always one to throw the head back.
So the required run rate is over 7 runs and over, perhaps up to 7.5. Well, that's a good shot from Stephen Waugh, straight down the ground, and it's way over the top. Did it get there? I think it did. Yes, that's a beautiful shot. You can't hit them much straighter than that.
And you won't see too many shots hit a lot cleaner than that. Lovely use of the feet by Steve Waugh. Nice follow through. No problem at all in clearing the fence. This is just what the Australians need at this stage.
Yes, I was just going to say, Ravi, they need to score a few more runs before that 10-over mark while the fieldsman is still in, and I think that's what is on Steve Waugh's mind. Back for the second. In comes the throw again. Well, once again, the Australians realising they've got to go. There's no point here in taking a backward step. They're going to have to take some risks. They're already behind very early this morning. Watch the mopping up process. Back to back they are. And that one's gone for 4. That's a good shot. So they're starting to turn it on now. These two are very good players. Ricky Ponting, anything short, he'll absolutely carve it away on the onside.
This is beautifully picked up by Ricky Ponting. The ball coming on nicely onto the bat and just chipped it over the infield for a boundary. Yes, the Australians have a lot of depth in their batting.
The difference between the applause you hear when Sri Lanka do something good by comparison with when the Australians do something good is incredible. That one's in the air, but it's going to clear. Aravinda running down there to the wide long on boundary. In comes his throw. I think they've realised they've got to pick up the rate. 8.2 overs have been bowled. 48 for 2 the score at the moment. He's got Stephen Waugh with him on 11. Law due to come in next, followed by Bevan. Short delivery, he's hit that one away. This is going to be out. Yes, got him. Beautifully taken down on the boundary. Jayasuriya into the action again. That was short. Ponting pulled it away. He didn't quite hit it hard enough. Jayasuriya right back down there on the fence, and he doesn't drop catches. That's the end of Ponting.
Well, these Sri Lankans are hot. Again, nicely pulled by Ponting, but finding the man in the deep, and a very well judged catch by Jayasuriya, running to his left and coming up with the ball in his hand. Australia lose their 3rd wicket, 48 runs on the board.
Lankans, having won the World Cup, putting it over them again. Let's have a look at this one again. It was short. It was that little cutter again. He should have hit this one for 6. But watch Jayasuriya come into your picture here. Eye on the ball, goes back a little bit. Up go his hands. Thank you very much. So Jayasuriya takes the catch, and he's very happy about it as well. Yes, I think these Sri Lankan smiles tell the story of their cricket. They're happy players. They're enjoying every moment of this, and why wouldn't they be? World champions, and now putting it over their major opposition again. Oh, and a little nick there, just wide of the keeper. It went down, and it's gone for 4. Yes, it was not a chance. It actually went down into the ground. Didn't carry to Kalu at the runner.
So Stuart Law off the mark of the very first ball. A very intentional shot in the end, opening the face of the blade, running it wide of the keeper. Dangerous thing to do first ball. Another very free-scoring Australian batsman was involved in that very good partnership with Steve Waugh yesterday in the game against India.
Yes, he loves that shot, running it down to 3rd man. So he's faced 2 balls. He has 5, and the Australians have moved on to 53 for 3.
Another very useful man to have in your bowling lineup, Jayasuriya. Not only can he bowl in these beginning stages of the innings, but also bowls at the death for the Sri Lankans. Bowls differently at that stage, where he tries and fires the ball into the batsman, into the toes. But when he bowls now, you'll see him bowling in more orthodox fashion.
Absolutely packed crowd. The clouds are, in fact, moving around the ground today. Now luck is in. We're going to get the 35 overs in. Steve Waugh is on strike. Jayasuriya, the bowler. Now Jayasuriya really has done a good job just lately with the ball. Not only with the bat, but he's come on and actually kept it very, very tight on numerous occasions. He tends to mix it up a little bit. He's a pretty flat bowler. Doesn't toss it up too much.
There again, firing it in. What he does do is he varies his pace. Does bowl the odd ball a little slower. That's where he deceives the batsman. And he always is a very good fielder.
Well, he's got a hand on that one. That's a tremendous effort. Didn't quite manage to latch onto it properly. If he had done that, of course, there wouldn't have been a run right through to the end. It may just be that they've got a chance. Well, that one's short, played away on the onside. There's a fieldsman back there, though, so a fumble. They should come back for the second. They decide against it. Well, that's the first fumble we've seen for a while.
And normally he's a very safe fielder, Muralidharan. Very quick across the outfield. This occasion, just taking his eyes off the ball.
Messina in his position at mid-off. Stephen Moore just getting a little frustrated with all the field changes that are taking place out there. You could see him throw his head back a little bit. He was about to go down into his stance, and the Sri Lankan captain was making a little change, so he backed off.
No ball called by umpire Buckner. Silly to get run out on a no ball. And umpire Mitchley thought about it. Now he's asked for the replay.
Well, that's quite sensible. We saw yesterday that there were a couple of occasions when the umpire did not call for a replay, and that there was a case for a replay then. So if it is something close and where a match could turn this way or that, why not refer it to the third umpire? Steve Waugh taking off, but then I think as soon as the non-striker Stuart Law heard that it was a no ball, he sent him back, and he's safely in.
Steve Waugh looked as though he knew all along that he was safe. Just going back to your comments about Arjuna, Sonny, I think there's method in everything Arjuna does as a captain. I think he's more than a captain. He's a great leader. I think he's played a great part in the fact that Sri Lanka are the World Cup champions.
Well, he certainly has, because he's led from the front whenever the situation required him to contribute. He's done it in a very positive manner. He's also got the side to believe in themselves.
Australians finding it difficult to get anything more than a single. The crowd applauding every dot ball now. Once again, it's just a single. Sri Lanka will be quite happy to concede just singles. It's 90 for 3 as Steve Bucknor calls for the drinks. Chandana is now on at the commentary box end. The tidy leg spinner.
Well, he's been quite brilliant in the field. He took a catch, and his pick up and throw from the deep have been quite outstanding.
That's the 50 partnership for Steve Waugh and Stuart Law. Law brings up the Australian 100 in the 19th over. To go as this match has been reduced to 35 overs, and that's what Australia need, 135 from 96 balls. They've got a long batting lineup, so they're not out of the contest, and that's a pretty hefty required rate, 8.43. Handy, and it's one way of bringing up the boundaries that wouldn't come off the middle of the bat.
Dharmasena is a quickish off spinner. He bowls at a brisk pace, unlike Muralidharan, who gives the ball a bit of air. Dharmasena likes to bowl it flat, and although the ball didn't go in the area that Law wanted to hit, it's still 4 runs on the board. That's important.
Chance in the upfield. It's been misjudged, but well caught in the end.
Oh, he is an absolute brilliant fielder. We've seen that in the past. Muralidharan very, very quick on his feet. And when India toured here a couple of years ago, he took some outstanding catches of his own bowling, diving to his right across the pitch. This time he's diving to his front, keeping his eyes on the ball, making sure that the ball doesn't bounce after he's held it, and look at that delight. Stuart Law is gone for 31, and Australia are 4 wickets, 404. One of the reasons for Sri Lanka's success in recent times has been the fact that they've not only become attacking cricketers, attacking the ball when they are batting, but they also attack the ball when they are fielding. Look at the way Muralidharan has dived forward. Their fielding has improved out of sight. Dharmasena, Muralidharan, Mahanama, quite outstanding fielders.
Good pace variation there from Dharmasena. This is a tremendous diving effort. Not an easy thing to do anywhere in the field, to dive forward like that and take the catch. It's 107 for 4. People here in Sri Lanka could probably match them.
Yes, in the West Indies they play mass and jam and jump up.
Terrific save from Aravinda, and a chance here. The throw was a little bit wide. Actually, Kalawatharana did well to get it back to the stumps. He's a hard man to run out, Michael Bevan.
Yes, he recovered fast after slipping. As soon as he saw that Chandana had gone to that ball in a flash. The brilliant effort there, that coming down the pitch, getting that full toss, and Aravinda diving to his right. And as soon as Chandana saw that the ball had been stopped and misfielded, and it was coming towards him, he was off in a flash. Just before Michael Bevan turned, he slipped, and that's why it was that much more difficult for him to regain his ground. but that is a tremendous effort from Michael Bevan. I think he's in.
Yes, he's a very difficult man to run out, Michael Bevan. Extremely fast. But as Sonny pointed out there, the recovery rate was terrific.
Well, Michael Bevan has shown that he has a very, very cool head. Australia is very fortunate to have young cricketers like Stuart Law, Michael Bevan with a very cool head. And of course they have an experienced campaigner in Steve Waugh, who is got enviable temperament. The Iceman, they call him.
And forcing it off the back foot on the offside. And Bevan coming back for the second, and Chaminda was rightly throwing to the striker's end, but Steve Waugh making his ground quite comfortably. Very rarely would you find Bevan short of his ground. And going over the top this time, and the ball beating Mahanama at long arm and going over the fence for another boundary for Steve Waugh. And that brings up his 50. It's been another valuable innings by the Australian vice-captain.
Steve Waugh showing what a great fighter he is. Once again, launching into Chandana, just eluding Mahanama, who probably lost sight of the ball a little and unable to get to it.
The game's not over till Steve Waugh is at the wicket. Great competitor. And goes again in the air, but could find Jayasuriya, and he drops it this time, and the ball crosses over the fence, and this could be a costly miss as far as the Sri Lankans are concerned.
That, no doubt, certainly is going to be something the Sri Lankans would not want to regret. Dharmasena getting his hands to it, seeing it all the way. Steve Waugh heaving at that one. The horizontal bat shot. Dharmasena, the last minute letting it go.
I just got the impression he might have picked the ball a little late, because it was hit flat by Steve Waugh. And the umpire is now having a chat with Arjuna Ranatunga. Doesn't really know what the problem is.
The look on Ranatunga's face doesn't appear to be very pleasant.
I just wonder if it has anything to do with Steve Waugh. Straight back and brilliantly taken by Chandana. So Steve Waugh is gone and Australia lose their 5th wicket.
Waugh losing concentration, certainly not the thing to do. One can get into a confrontation, but when the onus is on you, you have to concentrate and ensure that you keep your wickets intact. There you are, Chandana holding the ball back, a little bit of flight. Waugh driving straight into him, Chandana holding on to a very good catch.
129 for 5, Australia. His year is because of this.
Chandana, flighted delivery, Steve Waugh, not right up to the ball, losing concentration slightly, and Chandana completing a very good catch. Chandana certainly someone who is an exceptionally good fielder to his own bowling as much as supporting the other bowlers.
He really is a competitor. Played away by Lehman on the offside for a single, so another successful over for Sri Lanka. 23 overs gone, Australia 130 for 5.
With the asking rate keeping up, the Australians need the boundaries, they need the big hits. Sri Lankans would be quite happy giving the single away.
Going for the big hit and finding the gap between long on and deep mid wicket. So 4 more runs to Lehman this time.
Lehman picking that up very well, whacking it away on the onside. 4 runs to him.
There's no time for Lehman to get his eye in. He has to take the chances. Can't find the gap this time. 24 overs gone. Australia 136 for 5. Down the track comes Lehman and hits the ball over short mid-wicket, and again will find the gap between long on and deep mid-wicket. So another boundary for Lehman, and he's looking dangerous.
Lehman certainly looking dangerous that time, taking Chandan on the full, hitting it into the vacant mid-wicket region. Valiant attempt by Guru Singh, unable to stop the boundary.
We've not seen much of Darren Lehman on the international scene, but he does get a lot of runs in Australia in Shield cricket. Consistent run getter over the past few seasons. And again, good use of his feet.
Lehman not afraid to use his feet, not afraid to hit the ball hard, looking to be extremely strong and powerful.
Led away on the onside, will again get only a single, so 9 runs coming off that over. After 25 overs, Australia 145 for 5 per over.
Tremendous participation from the crowd. Sri Lanka certainly has got the cricket fever, and there is immense interest and enthusiasm.
Down the track comes Michael Bevan this time, but Dharmasena quick to spot that, dropping it a little shorter and quicker. Giving himself room this time, missing it all together and having his stump shattered. So Australia lose their 6th wicket, that of Michael Bevan, with just 145 runs on the board.
Dharmasena has struck once again, and just look at the delight of the crowd. Dharmasena's persistence paying off. Bevan drawing away and having his leg stump knocked off. Dharmasena is just delighted.
This could be the final nail in the coffin for the Australians, as they are 145 for 6. A huge roar grows up around the stadium as the Australian captain comes out into the middle. And the reason why is here because Michael Bevan was dismissed of the previous delivery, giving himself room, trying to hit it through the offside, missing it altogether, and having his leg stump knocked back. Good bowling this by Dharmasena, following Michael Bevan as he gave himself room. And Healy off the mark straight away.
The roar of the crowd, absolutely deafening. Healy maintaining his concentration. Certainly, Healy is not going to lose any sleep about the Sri Lankan crowd booing him, because he will start. The Australians will have to do better than singles at this stage. The Sri Lankans not giving anything away. Certainly sensing victory. The asking rate going up and up.
Driven on the offside this time by Lehman. And good by the time Guru Singh comes around, the batsmen have enough time to come back for 2 runs, so 5 runs coming off that over and a wicket. Australia 150 for 6.
Very, very high, and it would really take a superhuman effort to bring Australia around.
Certainly would, but it's possible. Even misses it altogether, and Kaluvitharana making no mistake, so Muralidharan deceiving Darren Lehman there in the flight, and Sri Lanka picking up another wicket, Australia losing another one, 151 runs on the board.
Lehman taking his chances, Muralidharan fighting. Certainly Australia had to look for runs, and Kaluvitharana completing a very fine stumping.
So 151 for 7 Australia. Comes out to the middle with the Australian innings in dire straits. 7 wickets gone with just 151 runs on the board. And he comes out here because Muralidharan deceived Darren Lehman in the air. He is a big spinner of the ball, and if you give him the charge and you're not to the pitch of it, this is what can happen. Kaluvitharana making no mistake in ripping off those bails.
Sri Lankans displaying that they're worthy world champions. The lion flag fluttering away, proudly displayed all over the stands. Tremendous cheering here, a real roar of the crowd.
When they win this tournament, this will be a huge boost for cricket in Sri Lanka. Nothing like winning a big international tournament on your home soil.
The required rate 11 per over. And if they get those, they'll have done very well. But have a look at the party. Well, this has been going on since early today. It's revved up a little bit just lately. One spins back a long way. Healy manages to nudge it away down to 3rd man. They'll get 2. They may well get 3. Arjuna picks it up. Here comes his throw. Yes, the crowd here have been quite incredible. To watch cricket in a match like this one here at Premadasa Stadium is a pleasure. Not a single person has run onto the ground today. The atmosphere has been electric right from the word go. The crowd have been intent on really watching when it mattered. And then as the Sri Lankans have started to dominate, the parties have started. Arjuna having a few problems down there.
Well, this is part of Aravinda's fitness training, I think. A couple of runs almost to the boundary. The big problem was finding the ball in the end. He's losing weight already. His pants are falling down.
For another single. Yes, those in charge of cricket here in Sri Lanka be very proud of the performance of their team. That's the area that they sit in. Rifle on strike. He's hit that in the air. This is going to be out. Guru Singh is coming in for it. Oh yes, no, he's dropped it. He was a bit slow getting in there, Guru Singh. He looked as if he'd got it covered. It was up there for a long time. Those dark glasses were on. It's pretty dull here. The lights are on, and he didn't catch it.
Top edge sweep shot. Ball landing just in front of Durasinghe.
As this was up there for a long time, it certainly was a top edge. You could see it went straight up in the air. Durasinghe started coming in straight away. Some big strides there, just couldn't quite make it. Eventually desperately stuck one hand out. The rifle gets one more. 184 for 7. 4 plus 50,000 US dollars for the winning team. Magnificent trophy. Another one for Arjuna to stick on the mantelpiece. He'll be running out of space. In fact, he has got a very nice trophy room. For dinner with him the other night, and we had a little wander through it. That's in the air, coming down the ground. This will be caught. Yes, it will. He's gone. That's nicely taken. Rifle realizing he has to go for it. Once again, Mahanama coming in from the boundary way down there at long on. He had it covered all the way, and there was no way he was going to drop it.
And even umpire Steve Buckner is having a laugh, at whose expense one doesn't know, but Paul Rifle had to go for it. He's hit it against the spin, and therefore really hasn't middled it. And look how Mahanama had to run almost to the edge of the circle before completing that catch. Rifle's gone for 12, Australia 183 for 8.
Batsman, he's at the non-striker's end. Healy's on strike. He's going for the big one. He's going to be out too. Yes, it's going to. Yes, that's it. Healy's gone. Muralidharan down there again. He's taken another one. He's got one of the great smiles in cricket. He's had his tough times, little Muralidharan, but boy, does he enjoy his cricket. Have a look at those eyes. They're wide open. Big smile on his face, and that's the end of Ian Healy.
Well, Ian Healy acknowledging the crowd. The crowd's really been after him ever since he's come out to bat. And this is an easy catch for Muralidharan as Healy tried to swing one over mid-wicket. He's gone for 20, Australia are 9 down for 183.
A few changes to the field being made now by Arjuna Ranatunga. So the wicket before last, this is what happened. The whack up in the air. Just keep an eye on Buckner, umpire Buckner, as the catch was taken here. Someone must have said something very funny indeed. And he, as that, look at how he went, absolutely killed himself laughing. Now, we're on a hat-trick out here at the moment. All the fielders have been brought in. So, and this is the reason for it. They're absolutely everywhere. Look at them. A hat-trick ball. Can they do it? This will crown all they've done so far. Oh, he smashed it, or tried to smash it up, shy at the non-striker's end, and the ball running down towards mid-on, so they'll get one. Yeah, so that was the end of Paul Rifle. That one hit way down in the ground, and someone said, obviously said something funny to Buckner, who burst out laughing. The next ball, of course, it was smashed into the deep, and another catch by Muralidharan, and that got rid of Ian Healy. Beaten all ends up. Right, let's have a look at that wicket of Ian Healy. The leg spinner there, and a whack, he gets it away, and he doesn't drop many, little Muralidharan. No trouble at all. So they're ready for another wicket now, so that they can really celebrate this victory. They beat the Australians in the final in the World Cup. The Australians were hoping to turn that around here. Oh, he's hit that in the air. This is going to be out too. No, it's not. Oh, what a magnificent catch to finish the match. That is unbelievable. Mahanama in the deep has gone full length to his right, and he has pulled off one of the best outfield catches you will ever see. Not only has he taken that great catch, but he started the day with a brilliant run out. What a day he's had in the field. The Sri Lankans are celebrating. They are the world champions, that's for sure.
And isn't that a world champion way of winning a match? What an outstanding catch. Worth going miles to see. This has been the big difference. The Sri Lankan fielding has improved out of sight. They don't really have to hide anybody now. Roshan Mahanama has been an outstanding fielder at cover point. And look at the way he thrusts his right hand out at the last moment and grabs the ball inches before it hits the toe.
Well, let's have another look at this. He even had the crows flying down there. Just watch this. Up she goes. He's going across. He's got his eye on the ball, never takes his eye off the ball. Now his right hand starts to move. He realizes he's in trouble. And he's off the ground at this stage, and whack. Beautifully caught as that crow flies through the picture. And as that happens, I tell you, that is a magnificent feeling. Just have a look at him here. He can't believe it. His hand is clutching onto the ball. And that is so good. So that was the catch that finished the match. Sri Lanka have beaten the Australians yet again in a big one-day match. The win by 50 runs. So there's no doubt about it. The Sri Lankans are the Singer World Series champions for 1996.
Nayaka, who's the Minister of Youth Affairs, Sports and Rural Development. So I'd ask the Australian captain, Ian Healy, to come forward and collect the cheque. Ian, yes, sure. Ian, in the end, just weight of runs, just too many for you?
Yes, they put us under far more pressure than we could absorb, and full credit to them. They're a fantastic team in their conditions here.
Yeah, and you called the guys together there at one point during the fielding session. What did you, well, the words that you can repeat, what did you say?
Oh, we mentioned the fire brigade. We needed to bring it in to try and get some wickets, but yeah, we were under a bit of pressure there at about 80 odd for less than 10 overs, so a lot of trouble.
Yeah. And I think you eventually won over a few fans in the crowd. You had a bit of fun with them there at the end.
No, I don't think so. I would like to all the ladies and gentlemen here, I would like to, on behalf of the Australian cricket team, like to congratulate the Sri Lankans on a fantastic performance. Too good once again. I certainly would like to thank the Singer Company for making these tournaments available. We're very pleased to be to take the opportunity to be in such a tournament at this stage of our season. And I would like to thank the Board of Control for Sri Lanka for their organisation of the tournament. And I would like to make mention of one person. And that one person is Siri Pala. Our room man, that fella here, is the best worker we've ever seen, the Sri Lankan volunteer that works for us. So we'd like to thank Siri as well. Thanks a lot.
Well done, Ian. Thank you. Well, next we have the winning cheque, which is for US $50,000 plus the Singer World Series trophy. And to make that presentation, I'd like to call upon our chief guest, who's Mr. Hamaka Amarasira, the Chairman and Managing Director of the Singer Group of Companies in Sri Lanka. Thank you, Hamaka. And if we can call on the winning captain, Arjuna Ranatunga, to collect the cheque. Trophy. Don't forget the trophy, mate. Arjuna, nice to confirm the World Cup win in front of your own fans, I guess.
Very much. I think they have been waiting for this. I thought the boys played really well right throughout.
Yeah. And certainly the fans up there, they know how to enjoy themselves. I think they're in for a party tonight.
They have been supporting the team for the last 2 years or 2.5 years right throughout. And that's one of the reasons that we are doing and hope that they will support us in the next couple of years.
And did I actually see you break into a sprint a couple of times today there? Into a sprint? Did I see you actually break into a sprint a couple of times running between wickets?
I have been running very well.
It's all that pre-season training you've been doing, is it?
That's right, yeah.
Arjuna, congratulations on another magnificent victory. Your team's playing extremely well.
Thank you very much.
So a happy captain with the trophy there. The next award that we have, which is going to be given by a former Sri Lankan captain and now ICC match referee, Mr. Ranjan Madugale, and this is for the man of the match, US $3,000, and I'm getting sick of repeating this man's name, Aravinda De Silva. Aravinda, is this the best form of your career, you think?
I guess so, yes. I think I've been batting well right through, and I thought this would be the best way to contribute towards the side.
And as I said the other day, you told me that you bat best when you're relaxed. You must be getting more and more relaxed every day.
Well, I think when you're making runs, you're that much more relaxed, and I feel apart from cricket, my lifestyle would have probably changed, and that has helped as well.
And I guess great to do all of what you've done in this series in front of your home crowd.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is what the Sri Lankan crowd really wanted, and I think not only me, as a team, we have played very well, and the rest of the team deserves as much credit as anyone else, and I think I should say very well done to the rest of the team as well.
Okay, congratulations, and don't go too far away. Well, next, a most important award, and this award is going to be given by the overseas sales manager of Kia, and that's Mr. K.M. Kang, and it is for the player of the series. The player of the series will have the choice of either the Sportage over here, the four-wheel drive, or the Saloon Seafear. And the man of the series is Aravinda De Silva.
Choice between the two.
We've only got one question for you, Aravinda. Which one do you want?
I'll probably go for the Jeep.
We've got the keys right there for you.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations, and they'll take you over to your car. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that caps off a marvellous series for Aravinda De Silva. Now we have a special award of US $30,000 to the Sri Lankan cricket team, and this is from the Board of Control for Cricket in Sri Lanka, and it's going to be presented by the President, Mr. Upali Dharmadasa. So I guess we call upon Arjuna to come and collect the cheque. Congratulations, Arjuna. And we have one final award, and this is US $10,000, and this was promised after the World Cup victory by Mr. Abdul Rahman Bakatir, the chairman and founder of the CBFS Sharjah cricket series, and it's going to be presented to the Sri Lankan team for winning the World Cup. It'll be presented by our chief guest, Mr. Hamaka Amarasira, and so we'll call on Arjuna again. Arjuna's bank manager is going to be very happy with him this week when he turns up with all those checks. Well, that completes a marvellous Singer series for 1996, and we congratulate the winning team, Sri Lanka.